There's coaching and atmosphere like this. Second period,
Yeah.
I didn't touch your jacket. It's mine.
Let's go get him.
No. I don't think so. No, you been trying to steal my swag. No, I do. You trying to steal my swag. I do. See? Oh, wow. You just went down on me? That shit was looking. It ain't much out there, though. You're worse than me, man.
Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. I'm super magnetic, bring the championship to me. Super with exclusives, hit the link and you can see what it takes to be a top athlete. Coast to coast we going, so to come up you can see. From the court to the field to the track we can meet. Everything exclusive, straight behind the scenes. This the athlete. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Now let's talk about the athlete. The path is like a track meet. Distractions in the crowd, you gotta master that within thee. Passion in the how, you put it down, then we'll see the difference between the others and the athlete. You must subscribe to Focus, click the link and notice. All the flyers culture, all in sports you know it. We always thinking forward to the biggest moment. Welcome to the show is the athlete. I'm jumping for my dreams. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. The athlete.
soon as he comes back down, I'm taking man this camera. So he'll probably come on after the national anthem.
Good evening. Brookfield Central High School welcomes you to tonight's Greater Metro Conference basketball game between the visiting Chargers from Sussex Hamilton and your Brookfield Central Lancers. One of the major goals of the WIAA, the GMC, and Brookfield Central High School is to promote sportsmanship and its athletic contests. We ask that all fans refrain from any negative comments, gestures, cheers, or chants that reflect poorly on you and your respective school. Remember, sportsmanship is everyone's responsibility. Now please stand and remove your headwear and join senior Sasha Pavlovich in the singing of our national anthem.
How is he? And welcome to the Athlete Live. We're here at Brookfield Central for the big-time matchup between Brookfield Central taking on Sussex Hamilton. I'm Craig Harden alongside Antonio Curl and my partner Jose Winston. Fellas, we're in for a great matchup. These two teams met. It was Sussex Hamilton's first game of the year at Sussex Hamilton. Sussex Hamilton got the win. What's the keys for this game right now? Coach, you first, Tony.
I think for Sussex Hamilton, they have to do much of the same. Patrick Baldwin obviously is the alpha, but I tell you, the young fellow Carson Smith has been very special the last few weeks. He's got to have a big game. For Brookfield, I think it's got to be sharing the basketball and balance. If they get into a one-on-one situation, Sussex Hamilton wins. If they share the basketball, have four guys in double figures, and get double-digit assists from somebody on their team, they got a chance to win this game tonight.
Coach Winston, Patrick Baldwin, #1 player in the sophomore class. What does he have to do tonight for his team to get the victory?
Just be Patrick. Patrick is special, man. Every time he hits that floor, the thing that makes him so unique is every time he hits the floor, he plays the same way. You don't speed him up. You don't force him into difficult shots. He's just a special, special player and a one-in-a-lifetime type of player.
All right, we got a big-time matchup. Two top teams in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. But first, before the game, we're going to go to our very own Gina Van der Heep for her report. Gia, what do you have for us?
luck, fellas.
On Hamilton, Sussex, and Patrick Baldwin Jr. Now, Brookfield needs to do a pretty good job at containing Baldwin Jr. because, I mean, he's number one in his class of 2021, and he's quite creative on and off the floor, on and off the ball. Now, he can post up as well as shoot pretty far, so it's going to be an interesting game. I'll have reports to you all night long.
All right, thank you very much, Gia. With the ball, the starting five for both teams. Sussex Hamilton looks like this. Taylor Ellerson, he's a senior 6'5" guard forward. Lucas Finnessy, he's a 6'4" forward center. Carlson Smith, also J.T. Horting, and then Patrick Baldwin Jr. For Brookfield Central, they go Gage Melansky, Cole Now, also with Ben Now, David Joplin, and we got Jack Cooney. I guess Malik Wahid is not getting a start today, Coach?
No, Malik's out today. I'm not sure why he's out. Could be, I don't want to speculate on that, but he's out today. Coach told us earlier. And Jack has his hands full today. You know, he's going to have to step up and continue to do the little things. I think the thing that happens with Malik being out, and I'm sure you'll agree with me with this, Coach Tony, is that it shortens their bench, right? It's shortening their bench. They've already playing with a short bench as it is. And with him being out, now you're forcing Jack into a position that he's not necessarily comfortable with.
Yeah, it shortens their bench, but it also takes away some versatility. And I think they really need that to counter some of the things that Sussex Hamilton does. But right there, David Joplin, contested shot by Baldwin. Baldwin already making his presence felt on the defensive end, which has been a huge improvement for him. Here's Carson Smith, right on cue, bucket. So what I'm trying to tell you is that's what this young man has done. I've watched him. Carson Smith has a chance to be one of the biggest sleepers in the state right now, and he's waking up, and he's been a huge part of this attack for Sussex Hamilton in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
I'll tell you, if he continues to shoot that ball like that, man, they're that much better. You know, they're that much better. It gives them another score with Baldwin, a consistent score with Baldwin, and that's going to make it tough on defensive.
Also, Brookfield Central had a big-time matchup across Tyler Robert earlier this week. They lost last week to their rivals East. So they're going to hopefully can get back on track. And what a way to get back on track if they can get a win at home today against Sussex Hamilton.
Yeah, I think this is a must-win for Brookfield Central. I really think it's this. Their season hangs with this game right here. And I'll tell you why. I think that they are not playing as good as they were playing the last 2 weeks of December. Mm-hmm. They're not sharing the basketball. They already have 2 conference losses. This would now be their 3rd, which would basically eliminate them from conference contention. And I just think that there's some players that were playing at a certain level in December that aren't doing that right now. This is as close as you can get to a must-win for Brookfield Central right now.
We have a foul that goes on 22. That will be on Brookfield Central, and that's on Ben Now.
Was that on 22 or was that on 2? I think it was on Gage Malinsik.
Is it? They had on, okay.
Oh, they got it on 22. You're right. I apologize. Sorry, Coach.
And I agree with you there, Tony. I think the thing about basketball is, you know, the season is only 22 games, but it's a long 22 games. And we're around game 13 or 14. This is when you want guys to start clicking and start to be playing your best basketball.
Tough move right there by Lucas.
Brookfield Central went to a zone there, looked like a little bit of a 2-3. That'll be a problem. They go to that. I think that Sussex Hamilton, it'll be a short night for Brook Central. I don't think they can win playing in a zone. They're going to have to play man. They're going to have to be active. And they're going to have to be balanced.
Brookfield swinging the ball around. Here's Gage at the top. He penetrates, gets in the middle. Top to Joplin for 3, off. And here comes Sussex Hamilton. Baldwin thought about it, bring it back out. It seemed like the missing key from this team last year, it was Ellison. He was hurt. It seemed like they were missing that second go-to player. Now he's healthy, but Patrick Baldwin right there for the 3.
Yeah, that's what he does. I mean, you saw the unselfish. He got it in the front court. He could have taken the shot. He passed it up, got a reset. Then he faced up. David Joplin tried to close on him, and Patrick drilled it right in his face.
8-2 early, 15-12 remaining here in the first half. Sussex Hamilton up by 6. Joplin spins. Defense is there. Kick the ball out.
Got to make the extra pass there.
Jack Cooney he misses it. And here comes Sussex Hamilton.
It just, you know, from watching Brookfield earlier, in a year, they're not – it just doesn't seem like they have that same bounce right now, you know, that same swagger about themselves. You can tell that emotionally, whatever it may be, they might be going through some things, you know, so they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out on the fly.
And great point. You would think three-point basket right there by other team. Jack Cooney, I'm sorry. You would think a team like this that's seasonal and have 3 seniors or their senior-led team that they wouldn't go through these type of spells in the middle of the year because they've been there before.
Well, I think you got one thing that's going on with Brook Central. Carson Smith on cue. Oop, nice shot. Rebound by Joplin in the front court to Gage Malincic. One thing you got going there, Gage Malincic is chasing. He's chasing the, it could have been a flagrant foul. He got shoved in the back there by David Joplin. Patrick Baldwin to go to the line for 2. Gage Malincic is chasing Riley LeChance's all-time scoring mark at Brookfield Central. And whether that's coming into play or not, I'll tell you what's going on in the last 2 to 3 weeks, that ball is not, that extra pass is not being made. And unfortunately, and I know that he maybe wants to get that, I think Gage is a better player, averaging 15 to 17 a game, 10 assists, because everybody else can then show up and do some nice things. He needs to get back to that, because I think every time he scores 22 points or more, I do think that other guys get left on the side, and I think it affects the ability for Brookfield Central to be balanced.
Now, Coach Winston, talk about that, because this team, especially Gage this year, maybe his freshman and sophomore year, he can go out there and score 20, 25 points a game. They're balanced. They have so many other good players on this team. But like you said, Tony, they can spread their wealth. Like 15 points is a great number for Gage to be at when you have 3 other guys who can get you 20 points a night.
Well, look, I'm sorry, Tony.
No, go ahead, Coach.
In order to be successful, they got to spread that wealth. I mean, they have Joplin here who can score. He needs to get about 10 to 15 points a game. They have Ben now who can score, and they have Cole now who can score. Just like Tony said earlier, you know, with Gage playing the primary position as the one man, he needs to make sure that everybody else can get a flow. Then he'll get his. I know one of the main
Baldwin Jr. on 3 right on cue.
One of the main keys for success, what Coach told me, was they will not allow him to get into that paint. They're going to stop transition on Gage. So what else is he going to do? He got to find them guys where they can open it up for him, and then he'll be getting into that paint a little bit more.
And then the matchup right now, they have a bigger guy, Lucas, on Gage to probably kind of help him for getting into that paint.
Well, Lucas is a heck of an athlete, a 2-sport star, a heck of a football player. Lucas can defend anybody. I'll tell you, Brookfield Central came out of that zone. They put Cole Now on Baldwin, and Baldwin, I mean, Cole Now is one of the top on-the-ball, one-on-one defenders in all of high school basketball in the state of Wisconsin. And Patrick just right up in front of him stepped up and knocked down the jump shot. So, and that's the things he does. I know David Joplin had held him a little bit earlier. There's got to be some balance. Right now, Benny has not taken a shot. I think Cole's taken 1. And Cooney, I think, is taking 2 or 3, but he's more of a role player.
Right.
You got to get those guards. That's an offensive foul not called. Great kick out
by Ben.
Benny with a good shot. Just missed it.
And here comes the Chargers.
You feel already that this game is already swinging in Sussex Hamilton's favor early. You feel like Central's kind of teetering early. They're going to have to get somebody else to step up. Lucas is big time.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people talk about Patrick Baldwin Jr., rightfully so. He's the best player in the country at his age. But Sussex Hamilton have quite a few kids who can flat out shoot it and play. So they're not just a one-man team. Like most teams are one-man team. They're not just a one-man team. They have multiple guys who can put that ball in the hoop, and they share that ball really, really well.
Well, I think that you got a chance to see Sussex Hamilton earlier this season when they played Nicolet, and that's really the only team in the state that's matched Nicolet, possession for possession. They are a very young team. They're not just a very good team.
Yeah.
They're a very young team. They have a chance, depending on what happens this year, to go on a 3-year run, like Stevens Point, like Germantown. This is the critical year for them because they're all juniors and sophomores. And if they were to win it this year, they come back as the odds-on favorite for the next 2 seasons to capture the Division I state title.
I totally agree with you.
Joplin goes up, basket plus the foul, and he's getting free early. 14-9 here in the first half, 11:47 remaining.
And Sussex Hamilton got caught in a switch there, got the smaller guard on Joplin, and David did what he was supposed to do, back him to the basket and knock down a jump shot.
One of the things when you watch Sussex Hamilton play, they move the ball around. You have to defend from side to side. So it's possibly you can't reload on Patrick on one side because he's constantly moving. It reminds me of Wisconsin flex offense where they're in multiple positions.
Well, Patrick just does so many different things. So many different things. He's a little bit leaner. He's moving better. Great backdoor cut. Great pass. Great finish.
He's a basketball player.
Yes.
You know, everyone talks about he's a jump shooter. But Patrick Baldwin is so much more than a jump shooter. He can put it on the ground. He makes plays for others. He's able to get into the paint and make plays. You know, you can tell he's gotten a little bit bigger up top. This kid is special, man.
Number 1 just comes in the game, Jimmy Barrisondale for Sussex Hamilton. And the right on cue, he spots up a 3, knocks it down. He's a sophomore, 6-foot sophomore guard.
And he's extremely quick, too. I think they're able to change the pace up quite a bit with some of the guys coming off the bench. They got another knockdown shooter in that just came in Tanner Resch, who can really knock it down as well.
Nice shot by Cole now. Right now, Gage is doing a lot of passing because the first shot's being taken away. It's not organic. That one was a great shot by Cole, but it really wasn't in rhythm.
Here comes Central. Cole now at the top. Passes over to his brother, Ben. Ben for 3. Can't make it. Patrick Baldwin with the rebound. 15-19. 10 minutes remaining here in the first half. Central's closed the gap.
Carson Smith being out of the game has really negatively affected Sussex Hamilton this last couple minutes. Tanner's a shooter. He's just different than Carson. Yeah. Carson moves more fluidly. He can catch and shoot.
Ben thought about it, swings it to Gage. Gage gets in the middle, goes to the basket, a little bit tough. Gets his own rebound, tips it out. Cole for 3, in and out.
Jump ball there.
Possession goes to Hamilton.
See, in that possession there with Gage, he passed up a wide open shot and drove into the teeth of the defense to take a more difficult shot. And what he's going to have to do is, what teams are doing, they're loading that box on him. They're backlining him, so he's not getting all the way to that rim, not against the better teams in conference. So he's going to have to stop, pull up, or he's going to have to take that first open 3. Like Tony said earlier, nothing looks organic right now with him, you know.
Just think about this conference. 2 teams that can possibly go to state and win state, but the way the brackets are set up, they'll probably play each other to make it to state. Is that correct, or are they in different brackets? Coach, that's the Coach Winston.
I'm looking at this Carson. I'm listening at this Carson kid. That kid, I mean, he shoots it effortless.
And that's what I said before the game. I talked to Coach. I said that young fella right there has been special. It's a different shot. He's coming off the screen, ready to shoot. You can run a set with him. You can do a lot with him. I think that young man's a Division I basketball player. You want the truth. I think you catch a Summit League or a Horizon League, something like that, he's got a chance to be. Right now, he's trending upward.
Timeout call on the court right now as Brookfield Central is down 15-22 to Sussex Hamilton. And thank you everyone who's watching live on the Athlete Network right now. We appreciate the viewership. Continue to watch and continue to go to the website for our next game. Will be next Thursday. We'll be at the Panther Arena for the City Review, Milwaukee, Washington taking on Riverside. That game is scheduled to tip off at 6:30 Central Time.
Washington needs to get back on track. Talking about next week's game, they suffered a tough loss to Vincent. They're not clicking at all right now.
To what?
V-House, Vincent.
Okay, the mighty Vincent Vikings. When you say Vincent,
they got a couple players over there, but they're definitely not clicking right now like they'd like to.
Shouts out to Verante Dance, their head coach at Milwaukee Vincent, for getting his team a win on the road in the City Conference right now. And I'm not going to lie, when I looked at the City Conference, I thought it was going to be a one-team horse, which is going to be Milwaukee, Washington, maybe going undefeated, but that's not going to be the case this year.
Now you have Milwaukee Bayview that's playing outstanding. I think Q-Mont Greer has Milwaukee Madison playing really well. I think Coach Dantzler has turned the ship around with Vincent. And again, Freddie's doing an excellent job over there with Washington as well. I just think those are the ups and downs of high school basketball.
Ellison for 3.
I mean, Look at Sussex Hamilton right there. Brookfield Central makes a push. Patrick Baldwin comes out of the game, and Smith and Ellingson drill threes to stretch it to 10. You have got to, every possession matters when you play this team. When you play them, when you play Nicolay, every possession matters. You cannot have 3 possessions without a basket. I mean, you have got to score and match them, and you got to keep them from knocking down 3-point shots. The problem is they have so many guys that can shoot it that at some point defensively you're going to run low, you're going to run empty on defenders.
And if you just now catching on to how good Sussex Hamilton is, think about last year. Their run to state, they had to be more than just Patrick Ball. That was a collective team effort to get to state. They played some tough teams on their way to state, so everyone came back. So the expectations for this Charger team is through the roof. But you can see why the expectation is so good, because this team is made more than just Patrick.
And they got everyone coming back next year and the following year as well. So get used to this Sussex Hamilton team. You know, I'm looking at Brookfield Central, and this is what puzzles me sometimes with high school basketball, right? David Joplin has 7 of the 15 points, right? At what point are you going to come down and demand the ball, you know, or we're going to come down as the point guard, I'm going to come down and say, hey, we're getting inside to David. He has a mismatch. You know, they're putting a shorter fella on him where ball was out the game. We have a mismatch. They have to, you know, David has to demand that ball. Go after it, get it, and go finish it. You know?
Carson just missed a 3 and gets his rebound, goes in strong for 2. This kid's having a great first half right now.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I mean, it was the missed shot. He didn't rest. He popped out. They got the extra loose ball by Ellingson, and he kicked it to Carson, who attacked the rim.
And Coach Winston, to kind of piggyback on what you said, if Central has that type of play in David Joplin, they have essentially 3 point guards in Ben, Engage, and Cole. It doesn't have to be fall on Gage's shoulders.
No,
it can be any one of those guys, right?
Whoever, yeah, whichever one of those guys.
The issue you have is Gage is the one that it's shown. Cole now probably is the better pure point guard. I think the way they run their offense, they want the ball in Gage's hands, and I think it does affect them. Great take by Benny now right there. And that's a young man who can play, that he's got to be in the flow. And I think, you know, Cole, one thing about Cole now, he's such a special passer. It's not just about passing. And that's Carson Smith with a missed 3, David Joplin with the rebound. Carson Smith was fading on that one. But Cole now puts it on time. And what I mean by that is everything's in rhythm. It puts the shooter in a position to be successful. And he has no problem. He likes to use his passing to score up, to set up his scoring. Like right there, Gage. I mean, you're posting up on a fadeaway.
Fast break, and here comes Joplin for 2. Cuts the lead, 21-27 here in the first half. 6:08 remaining here at Brookfield Central. Chargers working the ball around. Substitution. Patrick Ball is about to check in at the next dead ball. Ellison, but a man in hand in his face, can't make it. Here comes Central. Nice drive, Joplin, top for 3. And right on, like you said, Coach Winston, Joplin has the hot hand. That's the guy who's keeping his team in the game.
He's in a great rhythm right now. So when a guy's in the rhythm, you got to continue to feed that hot hand.
Brookfield Central's crowd is starting to get into it. You hear the fan section. Carson Smith up top.
If I was Coach Cerrone, you don't get a score here. I got to get a timeout. Get Baldwin back in the game.
3-point shot right there by Tanner Ratchet.
They just can hit you every time they need a shot.
And they're so poised. You know, the moment, as I watch them play, they just play. They're not concerned about runs or anything like that. They're not concerned about the crowd. I just saw Tanner, when he hit that shot, he looked over at the crowd and shook his head. Now, that's the same young man that just missed 4 threes in a row.
Smith kicks it to Tanner. Tanner thinks about 3. He would shoot the 3, a little off. Rebound by Joplin.
I think Cerrone on this one, Coach Cerrone, I think I would have got a timeout and got Baldwin back in the game. He's been sitting for 5 minutes of game time.
Which is about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
3-pointer shot there by Connor Cope. Couldn't make the shot. Joplin with the rebound, kicks it out. Gage.
Hit him. He's open.
The other thing is Lucas Finney isn't in, so right now
Yeah.
they have no size to counter anything that's going on with Brook Central.
Joplin on the post, spin move, up, off. Foul will be on Sussex Hamilton, number 11, and that will be on Sam Kinney. His first personal foul. Joplin's having a great game, keeping his team in the ball game. 24-30, 4:07 here left in the first half. Brookfield Central down 6. And like you guys said, this is a must-win if they want to stay in a conference race of being a conference champ. But then you think to yourself, who else will have a chance to beat Sussex Hamilton anyway going forward? They won't play each other anymore in this conference.
Kimberly.
In conference play.
Yeah. I guess Brook East.
Brook East plays hard in their discipline. And the thing about Brook East is they run their stuff. They run their stuff. If it takes 20, 25 passes to get a good look, they'll do that. So I think just by their style of play, they'll be able to compete with Sussex Hamilton. But if you're talking mano a mano and you're talking just straight talent, I think this is, when you look at Nicolay, I think Sussex Hamilton may be the second most talented team in the state.
Wow. And would you say over a team like La Crosse Central who has maybe two or three Division I? Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. I mean, obviously the most talented, the biggest depth is Nicolay, but Sussex Hamilton by far is the second most talented team in the state right now.
Gage for three. He's off.
And the reason I say that is because I haven't seen too many teams that has as many shooters as Sussex Hamilton has. They have shooter after shooter after shooter, and they have guys that can take it off the dribble as well. And then you add that special talent in Patrick Baldwin. I just don't think, besides Nicolay, I don't think there's any other team in the state as talented.
Which, to your credit, Sussex Hamilton won't see a team like Nicolay going forward now, just because both of those guys in Division I and Division II. So therefore, Sussex Hamilton, Kimberly, yes, but like you guys said, there's no other team that has a makeup like Sussex Hamilton, having great shooters, 4 or 5 guys that can put on the ground, and then having the X factor in Patrick Baldwin Jr.
Sussex Hamilton's a little bit out of rhythm right now. They're playing against it. Great move by Carson, missed it. They're playing against their strength. Nice pass.
The best shooter in the state that left wide open, he makes some paper.
Oh, no, Carson's close.
Yeah, Carson's close. But that ain't the best shooter in the state. That's the best shooter in the country right there.
Excuse me, best shooter in the country.
There isn't a better shooter in the country than Patrick Baldwin Jr. outside of Klay Thompson. So and Steph Curry.
And maybe you Tone in practice.
No, back in the hoop it up 3-and-3 days, I could get buckets from 19-9.
Stewart.
Ellison drives. Good defense there by Brookfield Central. And one thing when you watch Hamilton play, they run their stuff too. They're going to get a good shot to try to get in there. Patrick goes out of bounds, stays with the Chargers.
But here's the thing. Patrick sat 10 minutes of game time. Brookfield Central made their run. Joplin had some nice plays to start the half. Baldwin's already still got 11. They're still up 8. And that's the type of stuff, and it's an easy 11. That's the type
nothing's
of thing
forced.
Nothing's forced. And here we go.
Now he's in the post, Patrick.
He got fouled on that one, didn't pass.
Double
but
team.
A great unselfish kick out.
Shot was off by J.T. Hoyt. Hoyt couldn't make the shot. Benny with the nice Euro and connects.
Benny's a quality player. He played for the Phenom University team, spent a little bit of time up on the 16U level last year at the Peach Jam, Nike Peach Jam. So Benny definitely can do it at a high level. Going to block.
Baldwin,
nice
good pass.
Nice unselfish play.
Baldwin's the superstar that you're like, you look up and you're like, dude, like, I want you to shoot the ball more, but he's so unselfish in everything he does. And then he still ends up with 27 and 8 or something like that, Just a great team player.
Central try to get the ball to Joplin, poked it out. Cole thought about the 3, kicks it out.
So when Cole has to shoot that one.
Yes, and that's the part of Cole that the alpha side of him wanting to take over isn't there all the time. Great block. That's a clean block.
Gage goes up. They call a foul. Foul will be on Tanner.
The The problem I have with that shot, every single thing Gage shoots is contested. It's a left shoulder into the body. He can just get better shots. He can create better shots. I actually think he'd be a more efficient, better scorer and get better, easier looks if he did play make better. And I think it'd make the team better. But
so I'm looking at the keys for Success Hamilton. Coach says contain Gage. Check. Right?
Yep.
Stop transition. Check. Force the others to beat us. Check. Right? So right now they're winning because they're taking care of their keys right now.
And Gage missed both free throws. Ball got away probably with a push off there. Good pass.
You need to understand what you're watching. When you watch Patrick Baldwin and you watch Jalen Johnson, this is all due respect to everybody before them. You may be watching the two best players to ever hit the state of Wisconsin. I don't know, Jose. I'm just talking to you. You've seen them more than me. I don't know. It's your take on that. They're at that point. They got a chance to do it.
I think with their size, their athleticism, their skill set, they're definitely two of the better ones. I mean, you look at guys like, and I go my generation, you go like, not my generation, but you go people like, Sam Oakey, you go people like, Calvin Ray, and some of those guys that might be able to, that would be up there. But I think with this generation right here, by far the two best.
Sussex Hamilton will go to halftime. Go to halftime with a 30-37 lead, and Argena Heath will catch up with Sussex Hamilton head coach to get a couple minutes of what they got for us. All right, Gia, what do you have for us?
All right, Coach, you guys are ahead up 7 at the half. Now, you guys are a pretty equally yoked team. Obviously, you guys have controlled most of the pace of game. What's the message going into the locker room?
We got to keep the pace going like it is right now because they haven't subbed their big 4 guys, and we just kind of hopefully can wear them down a little bit. We told our kids we're not worried about the halftime score, we're worried about the final score, and for us to be up 7, we're happy about it. But there's a lot of game to play. They got some really good players, and we just got to keep making plays and. Pushing the tempo for us.
Now, Joplin has kind of been a saving grace for them. How will you guys control him going into the second half?
Well, I mean, they got 4 guys that can really hurt you at any time, and he made some plays. There's no doubt, but we just got to continue doing what we're doing, and we can't give up open threes like we did at the end there, and we just got to control Gage, his penetration, and we'll just keep playing like we're playing, and hopefully, like I said, the pace is going to be the way we want it to be, and wear them down later on as the game goes on. So that's our goal.
All right, thanks so much for your time, Coach. Thank you. That's your halftime report. With any updates throughout the game, I'll be with you. Signing out for now, Giovanni Heath.
All right, thank you so much, Gina. All right, fellas, Coach talked about they want to limit Brookfield Central three-pointers. They did a good job. You talked about the keys, Coach Winston, about making the others beat this team. The message he said going to halftime is keep that same thing up. Do you guys suspect probably Patrick Baldwin Jr. to kind of turn it up a little bit more in the second half?
Well, I think with Patrick, what he's got, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And I think he came in the game, David Joplin didn't score another basket. David did a lot of his damage against the smaller guards, and he did what he was supposed to do. Patrick is always going to play within the concept of whatever the team wants. Carson's got double figures. Patrick has double figures. Tyler Enslin's got a couple threes. So they're gonna have a balanced attack. At the end of the day, they're up 7. He sat 10 minutes of the game, 5 minutes of game time, 10 minutes in a row, so to speak. Patrick's just gonna let the game come to him, and then he'll score in spurts, bam, 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 and all of a sudden he's at 20. So at the end of the day, Sussex Hamilton's in control of this game. I think we can all agree on that. It wouldn't surprise me that they win by 15 or more. I think the first half there was a little bit of a run by Brookfield Central, but so much of it was with Fennessy and Baldwin on the bench. They got no foul trouble, so they can really go to work in the second half. They're rested. Coach Winston, what do you think Coach Wandry is telling his team, especially Gage, those guys who've been here before? What he's got to tell the Cole and Benny and Gage to kind of get this guard tandem going?
Well, I think he's going to tell them, hey, guys, we got to push the pace. We got to push the pace. We have to box out. We have to stay in front of guys, and we have to push the pace. And we have to make the right pass at the right time. Not when we want to pass, but make the pass when the guy is open, when they're in rhythm, where they can knock down a shot, they can be on balance, they can have their feet under them. I think also what Coach said Coach Cerrone said from Sussex Hamilton was this. We're limited their three-point shooting, right? We want to limit their three-point shots. But we won't stop the ones that we want to shoot the threes, right? So we don't want Cole now shooting threes. We don't want Benny now shooting threes. We don't want, Gage loading up threes. But anybody else, go ahead and shoot it.
All right, end of the first half, 30-37. Brookfield Central down to Sussex Hamilton. We'll have second action coming up here on The Athlete.
So basketball is a family sport, and today we made it a family affair. We sat down with Jalen Johnson and his father, Rod Johnson Sr., as well as Coach, to talk about hoops, fashion, and more. So let's get straight into it. So, Jalen, what made you choose basketball? Did you play any sports prior to playing basketball?
Well, yeah, my dad believes in cross training, he just likes how I can benefit from a lot of sports. So growing up, I played baseball, football, and basketball. So those are my three main sports. And then eventually I just decided I was truly passionate about basketball.
And what is your favorite part about the game?
My favorite part is probably just the passion I put into the game, all the work I put in. It's probably my favorite part.
So all the hard work. What's a normal day? I mean, there has to be, you mentioned hard work. What's a normal day for the Jalen Johnson, waking up to go on the sleep?
Waking up in the morning, depending on what's going on. I may have a workout in the morning. Then go through the school day, and then after school, I either got practice, I'm going to get shots up, and then once I get home from that, it's doing schoolwork then.
So now that you're coaching Nicolay, it is Jalen's first year being here. Now, what type of player is Jalen?
Jalen, he's a great player, first of all, but he's a guy who really takes pride in seeing his teammates being successful, and he puts team first. Everything about him, he's very unselfish, but at the same time, he's very competitive. So he's an easy guy to get along with. He's an easy guy to coach, and he's a great young man.
All right, good people, I'm here with Rod Johnson Sr. And how have you used your journey to help coach not only Jalen, but your other sons and your entire family pretty much?
Well, I was a 6'5" center when I was in high school, and I was a 6'5" power forward in college. And I usually had to guard the bigger guys, and I was stuck inside. I told my wife, I said, when we have boys and we have kids, they're not going to be stuck inside. No matter how tall they're going to be able to dribble the basketball, they're going to be able to shoot the basketball, they're going to be able to do more than just be post players. So I think we did a pretty good job of that. My oldest son is 6'8". He's a shooting guard down in Chattanooga. Jalen, obviously 6'9", point guard, positionless player. And then Kobe, who's almost 6'4", he's a point guard. So I think we've done a pretty good job of keep staying true to that.
Favorite shoe? Let's have a little fun. What's your favorite shoe you played in?
Probably my Kyrie Uncle Drew's.
Okay.
Kyrie 4 Uncle Drew's.
Why's that?
Just incredibly comfortable.
Okay.
Felt great on my feet. And they look nice too.
And they look nice?
And they look nice.
Now what about those, I messed up last time. I didn't know what they were, but now I did my research. Those Paul George PlayStations? Did I get that right this time?
Yep.
Now those were pretty icy as well.
Yep.
Where are those like? They're comfortable?
Well, I have wide feet, so they weren't comfortable on my feet.
Oh, okay.
But I still like wearing them just for the show. Yeah.
And what do you do outside of basketball?
I like spending time with family and friends. Basically, I'm really laid back. I like hanging with my family, so that's basically what I do.
Now, you described yourself a little bit to me as laid back. Now, if you could describe yourself as a rapper, if you could describe your game as a rapper, who would you most compare yourself to?
I'd say Drake.
Drake?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because I'm just a laid back person.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really hears much about me, so I'm just minding my own.
All right, so favorite Drake song and favorite line?
Probably God's Plan, and I only love my bed and my mama.
And you gotta add your dad, asterisk dad. Right?
And dad. Yeah.
So I I did predict that this team would make it to state, so make sure you follow the Nicolay basketball program to see if which I'm kind of sure I am, guys. Don't hate me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Stick with the Nicolay basketball program to see if they're in Madison this March. Signing out with the athlete, I'm Giovanna Heath.
Well, thank you, Gia, for that great story. Well, in 2019, if you want to get your body right like the Marquette Golden Eagles, you need to go see my man from Bridgewater Performance, and I'm talking about Johnny. Yo, Johnny, what's the tip of the week? Now we can hear it.
Even looking at Brookfield Central, you can tell the bad energy. You know what I mean? Like, you can feel the bad energy.
Yeah, go to that first.
Doesn't look like no one's cheering for one another, no one's picking each other up. It's just like they're just playing.
Nobody, and then when Patrick came in, he was it's super shaky. Are we on right now?
They are.
Do we get to ask?
All right, guys, I'm here with the Johnson brothers. I have Jalen Johnson with me and Kobe Johnson. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm good.
What about you, Kobe?
I'm doing good.
All right, right now, Brookfield Central is struggling a little bit, Jalen. What do you think the keys are for a solid victory for them tonight?
So
What are the keys to a solid victory for Brookfield Central? Right now, they're down 7. What do you think they need to do to take the W home?
I feel like they just got to keep trusting what they're doing. Keep giving the ball to the guards, and they'll be fine.
Now, obviously, your teammates out here, Patrick Baldwin Jr., what is it about him that makes him stand out, and how is it playing with him?
He's just a special player. He's a special talent. He's kind of tough to guard at 6'10", so it's going to be tough to stop him tonight.
Now, Kobe, obviously, you're out here watching the game as well. What do you see out there on the floor so far?
Both teams are playing really well. You know, Central struggling in the first half right now, but I feel like they're going to pick it up in the second.
All right, thank you both for your time. I just want to come and squeeze and chat with both of y'all, so keep enjoying the game, and I'm sure we'll see you around the city. All right, thanks, guys, for any updates. I'll be with you throughout the game.
All right, thank you so much, Neil. We have these, so fellas, good players like good basketball. And you see these guys play on each other in the summertime, coming out to support their team.
It's got to be 8 to 10.
What is it? I think Kobe said it on the head. It's hard to guard a guy that's 6'10" that can shoot the ball. Looks like he has Kobe has a coaching job in his future, but they hit it on the right. Brookfield Central is not playing well in that first half. They have to step it up in the second half. So,
Well, I think Brookfield Central has to pick up the pace. Right now, I don't think they're playing with much energy. I don't think guys are fighting for one another right now. I don't think you can't tell the magnitude of this game when you're watching them play. You know, they're not diving for 50-50 balls and things of that nature. So they definitely got to up their energy this second half in order to pull this victory off.
They don't look like they're having fun right now. They don't look like right now it seems like it's manufactured baskets. It doesn't seem like, hey, one guy makes a basket, yeah, nice. There's no camaraderie. Nobody's dapping each other. Nobody's picking each other up. Right now, I don't want to say it. This is what Coach Winston and myself are seeing. I just don't see them enjoying playing together right now.
well, they got 18 minutes to either get it together because that's a good move by Joplin because as he gets to spin, if we see a lot more of that from Joplin, he's unstoppable at the high school level. That post game, being able to put the ball on the ground and a nice jump shot he has, he's an unguardable. Not going to see too many 6'6" guys can do that.
Well, I think Joplin has the capability of not only hosting and scoring. I think he can also score a little bit off the dribble and be able to get into transition and score as well. So he's playing a really good game tonight. Just side note, looks like Gage must have had some blood or something on his uniform, so he switched to number 20. This possession here, I would either like to see Patrick get a shot or see Carson come off a down screen to be able to drill a wide open look.
34-37, 17 minutes left here in the second half. A lot of time left. We can see if Brookfield Central can get the offensive going. Looks like it's going to be a low-scoring game. Not a lot of transition points for the Central.
Sussex Hamilton, that's a wide open look by Ellenson. He didn't shoot it. That's the one thing they were doing in the first half. They were playing free and easy. So the one thing they can't do is start to play tight and start to play conservative. They got to play their game.
Baldwin losing. Here comes Cole. Cole, transition up. No good. Baldwin with the rebound. Here comes the Chargers. JT dribbles. Corner. Smith, Carson, in and out. A chance to either tie it or cut it to one. Gage surveying the situation. And it's been that whole first half. Joplin for three. That's good. And we're all tied up. 37-37 here at Brookfield Central.
And the thing with Joplin is he's had an opportunity to get a couple balls go through that rim. And like any player, once that ball goes through the rim, it opens up for you. So now you're starting to see the perimeter game a bit open up for him as well.
Ellison drives, swings the ball, and Baldwin for three. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Mama, there goes that man.
I mean,
just a special talent.
Yeah, I mean, he just faced up, and it's a high-pressure situation for where this game is currently at, and he just drills it. I mean, and Cole now is not a shabby defender. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Good move by Gage. You're right, Cole's now's a great defender, but he's giving up 5 to 6 inches when the guy is just looking right over the top of him. 39-40. Sussex Hamilton up by 1.
Nice. Great backdoor cut. That was great movement off the ball by Patrick.
Great play.
He came over the top, and then he slid underneath. Excellent movement, excellent pass, excellent patience by Sussex Hamilton.
Bring it down and get it back into Joplin. Right now, Joplin should be demanding that ball. He should be demanding that ball. Bring me the ball, bring me the ball.
Now misses a three, but he makes up for it with the steal. Here comes Central. Cole goes baselines, cut off. Sees it back to Ben. Ben goes to David. David jump steps. Foul on the ground. That will be on number 5. That's Carson Smith. That's his second foul.
Number 5, Carson Smith. His
first personal foul for Carson. Joplin up and under. Tough shot. Gets it to go. Now, like you said, Coach, nice jump shot by Patrick Baldwin Jr. After that shot, but you got to like the way Brookfield Central started the second half. A little bit more fighting in them. Only down by 3, but now it seems like they're woken up a little bit.
Well, they're sharing the basketball. I mean, David Joplin's getting looks. Benny Now's got a look even though it didn't go in. I mean, it's not pound it down into the paint and hope for something to open up.
Now, Cole can't make it, gets his rebound. Foul will go on number 4 from Sussex Hamilton, and that's Lucas Finney. That is his second personal foul. Team second.
Right now, out of bounds set, I would like to see them try to dump it. Joplin has to stay inside. Dump it inside to him again. See what he can do inside. I like the fact that he's actually yelling for the ball.
He's been way more aggressive, Mike, the most I've ever seen him aggressive. But is it a fine line when you have a sophomore, when you're playing with two senior guards, guys who've been playing 4 years? As a sophomore, is he reluctant to kind of ask to demand the ball? What do you think, Coach? I see you over there shaking your head like he should be able. His talent requires him to.
Absolutely not. If you want the ball, you got to demand the ball. You know, you're playing with senior-led guards, but when you got it going and you're playing as hard as you can play, they'll get you the ball. So he needs to continue to play as hard as he can play every single possession, and they'll probably continue to get him the ball. As you see, they're trying to get it to him.
Ben goes to Nicole. Ben to Cole, the brother connection. 43-44. We have ourselves a close ball game here at Brookfield Central.
This is what I like about Sussex Hamilton. They just gonna run their stuff, man. They ain't no rush. You know, they're gonna get a good look.
Swinging the ball around, as Coach says, and they get the ball to Patrick. Patrick right over the top, kisses off the backboard, and it was all so calm and smooth as he knocks it down off the glass.
And that's what Tony was talking about earlier, right? You look up and you say, man, you know, doesn't look like he did much. But when you look in the box score, he's gonna have 25 to 30 points on 12 shots.
And he's willing to defend.
Efficient.
He's willing to defend the guy who's playing hard or doing what he needs to do. And that's something that I think is a special quality. Like Cole Niles taking the defensive assignment of Patrick Baldwin and giving him inches. And that's the question you got to wonder, why is that the case? Because it really should be David Joplin guard Patrick Baldwin.
And Gage knocks down the pull-up jump shot, 45-46. Brookfield Central down 1. 12:20 remaining here in the second half.
But Brook Central's playing as good as they played the last couple weeks. So you gotta, they're back in this game. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Tough pass by Baldwin. Ellison was able to keep his feet in bounds. Ellison pulls up for three. Knocks it down 49-45. And Coach was telling Jack, don't go under the screen when you're dealing with shooters.
They have got, what do they have, 10 or 12 threes already tonight?
Yeah.
I know Patrick has three.
None of them are forced.
None of them
all good shots.
All drive draw kicks are wide open off of double screens.
You like that view? You like that view? Camera view here?
If I was Sussex, at some point I would start bringing who's ever guarding Jack Clooney or the odd man in, so to say, right? I would start sending a little help. If he's in a rhythm, I'll start sending a little help, pushing him further out on the perimeter, making him have to make more plays off the perimeter.
I think Sussex, I'd like to see Sussex start to really look to get Patrick and Baldwin involved. I think he's got the jump shot going tonight. He's making it easy in the post. You have to start to find him and go. You got to go to the alpha and start to take over.
Substitution for Sussex Hamilton. Number 2 comes in, and one, that's Jimmy Baston and Tanner Rash.
Carson Smith has been a little quiet this half. I don't see as many cuts coming off the screens or anything like that. So he's going to have to get dialed back in when he comes back in. He just checked out of the game.
Tried to get the ball to Patrick. Patrick was going to position. Ball goes out of bounds, belonging to Central. Looks like Gage is in a little bit of a rhythm, but now maybe some pick and roll with Gage and Joplin.
This Josh Brugink, number 21, who checked into the game, he can shoot it. Don't be surprised to see him hit a couple wide open threes at some point if left open later in this game. I watched him this past weekend. He had 14 or 15 points in one of the games. Yeah, Patrick
pull it up right here.
Oh, yeah.
Off the mark, rebound comes to Ben. Ben gets it over to Cole. Cole, Joplin, baseline. He's attacking, up and under, step through, and the basket. And one, 47-49 here at Brookfield Central, and David is keeping his team alive.
This is probably the best I've seen David play all year. in the games that we've been able to watch. He's being assertive. He's attacking the rim. He's not settling for the jump shot. And he's getting to the free throw line and finishing as well. So he's going to have to keep that up for the next 10 minutes in order for them to win.
He's putting this team on his back here in the second half, and he was very effective in the first. 49-48, 10-14 left. Baldwin, that looks like that was a moving screen. Actually, I would have called probably on JT. But they're calling Cole with the hold. That's his first personal foul. And you guys mentioned how good of a defense Cole is. He doesn't foul either. A lot of defenders play good defense, but they don't move their feet. Cole is in great position most of the time.
And Cole's the guy who takes on Cole now and Benny now. I think those are the two that takes on the best offensive players on either team, on any team. Whether they're bigger or smaller, those guys are tough as nails.
Tanner can't connect. Rebound goes on to Gage. And here comes Central. Central has numbers. Gage all the way, kicks it. Cole for three at the top. Can't make it, but Joplin back up strong. Can't get the basketball, and the crowd would have went wild, giving them their first lead of the game. David will go shooting two.
If I'm Coach Cerrone, I'm coming back with Carson Smith too.
I'm coming back with Lucas Fennessy.
And on cue, they both are checking at the scores table to check in for the Chargers. First free throw was up by David. That's good.
I might even call a timeout here. Patrick Baldwin hasn't gotten a break. You don't want to take him out here. Give him a blow. Let him get a couple minutes on the bench. Just kind of get his breath under him and then go for this last 9.5 minutes. It's going to be a tight game. There's going to be some battles of possession. So at the end of the day, I think you got to have you guys as rested as possible.
This shot gives Brookfield Central their first lead of the game. 50-49, 9:40 remaining here.
The second half Brookfield Central team is a team that we expect every single game. That first half is not the team that we're used to seeing. Obviously, Coach went in there, got pretty fired up, got lit into them a little bit, fired them up a little bit, and they came out ready to compete.
Tough move right there by Lucas Fennessy.
Great pass by Patrick Baldwin. Great finish by Lucas Fennessy.
And one opportunity, giving his team a 1-point lead. He's at the line to shoot one. Also, special thanks to everyone who's watching this live stream. Over 100 people right now watching. We appreciate the tune-ins.
I would like to think that's because of my good looks or something like that, but maybe it's because of Antonio's good looks. I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, we want to appreciate the people out there. I was going to go say Gia's probably the ones bringing in the look department out of the three. There's no offense to everyone up here, but I think Gia is the one bringing in the looks.
Hey, I'm okay with that. I'm at an age right now that doesn't bother me. I know my limits.
Ball goes out of bounds, stays with the Chargers.
Yeah, you got to go to the block there.
Baldwin tried to make a cross pass. That is stolen. Here comes Gage.
They're going to need Sussex Hamilton's going to need somebody else to step up here. They're keying on Patrick Baldwin, and Sussex Hamilton's kind of become a little bit of a one-man show, so to speak, in this second half. Roles have reversed a little bit with respect to Brookfield Central and how they're playing versus what Sussex Hamilton is doing right now.
Looks like Central wants to do some dribble drive and hopefully break down the Charger defender and get something. Cole. Joplin tried to force it into Cole. Turnover.
Tanner Resch has to look for the post entry. He's not doing that. Can't just dribble around there. You got to look in the post. You got to at least sell it. There's your
Chargers swinging the ball around
right
back door.
Right on cue. It's right there. That's there every time down, but you got to swing it. They're not rotating well.
That's the second time just this half that the Chargers have beating Central on that backdoor play.
If you're playing with a Patrick Baldwin or a Jalen Johnson or even a Michael Foster, right? They get so much attention. If you can just cut and move, and these guys are so unselfish, they're going to find you. You're going to get easy baskets.
Tough layup right there by Gage as he gets his 2. If he can get it going in this last 8 minutes, that'll help Brookfield Central pull up the upset, even though they're the home team right now, coming off a loss against early last week to their cross-time rival was Brookfield East. Hennis goes up. Lucas can't make it. Here comes Central. Pass it to Ben. Benny in the corner. Knockdown. Can't make it. Rebound.
That pass has to be sooner.
What a great tip rebound by Patrick Baldwin. Lucas Fennessy's got to go up. He's wide open. You got to attack it.
Jump ball. Ball will stay with the Chargers. 52-53.
It's a good timeout.
Timeout by Brookfield Central here at Brookfield Central. They're down 1 point, 52-53. And right now, this is a totally different Brookfield Central team here in the second half. This is what we came to see, and I think Gia has a report for us. But this is what you guys said. First half didn't recognize Brookfield Central. Second half they came out strong. And we have our own Gia Heath. I think she may be by the Chargers in the fan. Let's see what she has for us coming up pretty soon. But until then, 52-53. And Gia, what do you have for us?
Rookie mistakes here, turn on the light. She didn't turn her mic off. Oh, I thought.
Make sure you turn this light off. All right, thank you so much, Gia, even though we couldn't hear you that time. But, hey, I know you said some good stuff. Back here, 52-53. Yeah, make sure every time you're done, make sure you turn this light off. Here you go.
And then the Brewers head coach is here as well. The skipper, yeah.
Oh, is he?
Craig.
Counselor. Okay. Where is he? Do you want to interview him?
Over there. I don't know if he'll do an interview, but.
Maybe.
You want me to go check?
Well, hey,
we can. Okay. Yeah. Back to the action here. 6:50 remaining. Baldwin on the corner, kicks it out to Lucas. JT goes, and they're going to be a foul on the side.
Hey, Ben. Good job. Ball's on 22. Ben now, his first personal. Keep talking.
Ben now, first foul. Top of the key is Carson Smith, and he knocks down the 3. That makes it 56-52.
He's really added a different dimension to Sutton's Hamilton. You know, every time that kid shoots the ball, it looks like it's going in.
Central down 4.
Good hustle. And Benny's got to be a little bit better with the basketball. It's careless there. Great hustle. Carson Smith almost with a big steal there.
Gage top of the key. Picked by Joplin. Switch off. Cole goes up. And no good, but he'll be going to the line shooting 2 shots. Foul will be on Tyler Ellison. That's his first personal foul. 16 foul. Next foul will be bonus shot, bonus situation for Brookfield Central. Short. Free throws is one of those things that they got to make their free throws coming down the stretch just because this is going to be a close game. Maybe a 4 to 5 point swing here, so every point counts.
And that's uncharacteristic of Cole now missing a free throw. He's one of the better free throw shooters in the state of Wisconsin.
That's kind of the ebb and flow of Cole. Like you see the game earlier this year against Martin Luther, he was just electric. Mm-hmm. It's the inconsistency. And I think that's the level. Great take by Carson there. Lucas has got to look to attack. There's some guys creating some things for him. And then Lucas has got to look to attack. Great play by Patrick Baldwin there. Lucas Finney has a number of great passes coming his way, and he's hesitating every time he catches it. He's got to go up and just finish. Use that body, use that strength.
Exactly. He has to get himself in position to take, when that ball is coming, meet that pass and go right up and finish. Brookfield Central don't have shot blockers, so they're not going to block your shot. So you just got to go up and you got to finish.
Timeout by Brookfield Central.
Make sure you're on top of that light. What's his name? He's struggling today. Yeah, but they're gonna kill him about that if he does it again. If he does it again. 58-53, Sussex Hamilton in the lead. Ben Niles inbounded.
When they doing interviews, make sure you with him and make sure you turn like you got it because he forgets.
This is a big possession here for Brook Central. I think they got to get something. Got to find a way to get an easy bucket, something unselfish, something, whether it's a 2 or 3. I think Sussex Hamilton is one possession away from stretching it again. Joplin has a mismatch. He needs to take advantage of that here.
And these are the possessions where demand the ball. You're in an unbelievable rhythm. Demand the ball.
Three-pointer hits the top, but that will be out of bounds. Ball will go to the Chargers.
I don't want Jack shooting that shot.
No, and that's not the shot you want. And that's the part of understanding your role. David had that. I think he has a mismatch. I would really like to see David one dribble right to the middle of the lane there. He gave it to Cooney, and Cooney shot it. They get a 2 or 3 here. It's a problem for Brook Central.
And JT was left wide open. Lucky that didn't go in.
The reason he was.
Yeah. I don't like that shot.
Right. I don't like that shot.
You haven't even looked at the rim, and just because somebody said shoot it, you shot it. Look at Smith hustling like that. Wow.
Ball's on the floor and a nice dive by Lucas. And White, ball goes to Brookfield Central, and the Chargers fan base and coach do not like it at all.
Right now, Sussex Hamilton has 2 players, Patrick Baldwin and Carson Smith, leaving it all on the court. For Brook Central, David Joplin was hot early in the half. They really don't have that one guy doing that little stuff. Even though Sussex Hamilton doesn't get the possession there, it's the effort that starts to galvanize your team. Again, another big possession here. I think Brook Central's got to get a good look.
Three-pointer off. Gage gets the rebound. It tries to save it to Ben, hits the back of the backboard.
I mean, they got a good look. Cole's Miles got to hit that shot.
I like that shot from Cole. Yeah. If he's been taking it the whole game.
Agreed. I mean, he's in rhythm. He's one of their key guys. But again, that comes from what? Not keeping them involved throughout the game. Now, when you need them, they're not there.
Get them out of the paint.
Now Sussex Hamilton's going to probably run some clock and wait till they get the great shot. Maybe they get another backdoor.
Good cut. Here comes Carson. Swing it to Patrick.
Patrick dribbles. Cut off baseline behind the back to Ellison.
Now with the patience. They're up 5. There's no shot clock. As much as I would love to see a shot clock in high school basketball, there isn't. And now it's time to just work the basket, work the clock, work the possession. Make them defend. You got to remember, them playing defense for 45 seconds to a minute, that's tough.
Every time Lucas get it, coaches tell them foul him. So they're going to play the foul game. We'll see if he can step up and knock it down.
I'm playing a two-man game with Patrick and Carson right here.
That's the foul. That's who they want to foul. Lucas, there were 3 more fouls before they'll be shooting free throws.
But think about this. So they're already exhausted. It's a tough game. They just played defense for 45 seconds, and then they're going to have to go back on offense and make their hard cuts and things like that. I mean, so it does work in their favor to not have a shot clock and just work the ball. I'd like to see Patrick isolate on the wing and go to work a little bit. I'd like to see Carson coming off the screen on the opposite side, create that.
I would like to see a shot clock to be able to see these phenomenal athletes that we have right now in the state of Wisconsin, to be able to play with a shot clock to get more possessions. That would be awesome as a fan.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, maybe in a year or so, the WIA will revisit that rule, and we may not have that, but you think it should be implemented soon. You will hope, just because of.
It's an interesting one. I don't know why we're taking Joplin out here.
They're going to foul right away.
Yeah, I get this.
So they don't want them to pick up fouls. But what you got 2 minutes.
I would go Patrick. I can go into Patrick in the post.
Yeah.
I'm going to Patrick in the post, finding him and going to work there. I'm clearing out.
And the thing about Hamilton is you don't have too many people on that team that you can foul that's going to be out there late in the game. Right now, the worst free throw shooter they have out there will probably be Tanner Rush at 63%. And we know Tanner, just seeing him in the summer, he can knock down free throws.
They've been playing defense for almost 2 minutes.
Right. So you just want to foul. If anything, this is working against you because you're picking who you're fouling. Just foul, give yourself opportunity.
I think they need to be looking at Patrick Baldwin in the post.
Yeah. Carson Smith shooting he hasn't missed a free throw all year.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's very true. Patrick Baldwin is 81%. Who else do they have? And JT, he shoots 93%. And having Tanner in, he shoots 63%. So they're hoping Tanner gets it like he did.
And that's the guy at the line right now.
But Tanner's a pretty good shooter from what we've seen over the summertime. So I'm going to expect him to at least make one of these.
1-on-1 situation. First one's up. That looked pretty smooth and calm to me, that first shot.
Well, Tanner's he's a perimeter shooter. That's what he does. He's a specialist. And, obviously, how many free throws has he taken on the year would be the question I would have.
He shoots 63%. He shot 8 free throws.
Right, so it's
7 for 10 now.
Now he's 7 for 10. Now he's 70. I think you got to put ball pressure here. You got Lucas on Gage. What does that say about Lucas to be able to defend the point guard position?
Ben goes up, can't make it, rebound goes.
Keep the ball. If I'm Patrick Baldwin, I'm keeping the basketball. Go.
You have to foul. Why are you waiting if you're Brookfield? Time is against you guys.
Yeah, I'm going to get it. If I'm Patrick, I'm holding that basketball.
Keep it.
Keeping that space, and yes.
Space.
Make them have to defend. You quit passing off the one ball. That's one thing I'd like to see Patrick change is they're passing off the one dribble, the one-hand pass.
Chargers were able to kill a lot of clock right now. It's been 20-plus seconds that they're getting off the clock.
Well, the problem is they've defended 2.5 minutes of the last 3 minutes of the game, and they're down 7. They're exhausted. I mean, they were down early, so they had to fight back to get back in the game.
Number 23, Connor Cole.
Down 7, 1:30 left, 90 seconds left in the game. Ball to Patrick Jr. If you like you said, he should keep the ball and make a move. And that's the guy you probably don't want to foul because he's just been to the free throw line. He's knocked down 2, so he's in the rhythm.
Tanner Rush rocking. Big shout out to my boy rocking the NY to LA socks. Saw both teams rocking the NY to LA long sleeve warm-ups as well. Great job by Miss Kiro coming up with this idea and making it happen.
It's amazing that I can't get over how much credit she gets all the time. Happy anniversary to to my wife.
Definitely happy anniversary to you
better
guys.
half. I don't know where life would be without her. You know, 3 great kids, and she has to put up with me every day. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, except for Jose.
The Winston's family here, they're actually here in attendance, checking out this nice high school game.
It's a family affair. I mean, you got to, like, you know, Phenom University, obviously Patrick Baldwin plays, Benny Now. There's a number of young men who play on our associates team. Lucas Finnessy, Carson Smith, JT, Tanner is also on one of our EYBL teams. But Jalen Johnson, Carter Gilmore, Kobe Johnson are in attendance tonight.
Right. I mean, you like to see these guys not only kind of play on the court together, but they support each other when they're not in season during the summertime. Timeout, Sussex Hamilton. 62-53. Sussex Hamilton with a 9-point lead with 1 minute and 4 seconds left. And right now, if you're Brookfield Central, you got to go for the steal. If you don't get the steal, you got to foul right away no matter who it is. But the way the Chargers are shooting free throws, it really doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, Brookfield Central, I felt this was a do-or-die game for them. I thought David Joplin did an excellent job to start the first half. He did an excellent job to start the second half. I think it goes to what Coach Winston had said. You have got to be demanding the basketball when you're feeling it to that extent. And I think over the last 7 to 8 minutes, he's been non-existent. And if you pay attention, I think Brook Central struggled offensively. David Joplin was really their alpha tonight for a period of time. On the flip side, Sussex Hamilton didn't have a great second half. They're still up 9 and they have the ball. I mean, what does that say to their talent and their ability?
Well on forward. 1 minute and 4 seconds left. We'll see what the Brookfield wants to do. They go for the steal, trap right there. They can probably see if it's going to have jump ball.
Why do we have 3 guys? What?
And then call it
a
foul. Foul was on David Joplin. That's his 5th or 4th personal with it. It's 4th personal foul. Tanner Rush has been shooting a lot of free throws these last 2 minutes. He maxed down the first one, making a 10-point lead with just a minute left in the game. Some of the fans are starting to kind of fall out of here.
I thought the second half, Brookfield Central kind of ran out of gas. But I thought we saw the Brookfield Central team that we expect every game. And it started with the unselfish ball movement. It started with them attacking the paint. It started with them making the extra pass and the right pass. So I think from this point on, getting ready for the playoffs, that's what they really got to focus in on, cleaning those things up and making sure they're playing as hard as they can every single possession.
Joplin gets the offensive rebound. It goes up strong for the and-1.
I think one of the, you know, it's great in theory, but it's been preached here for a couple of years that that's what's got to happen. And the reality is you saw David Joplin really going to work early in the second half. They went away from him. It became the pound the basketball isolation show. And I just continue, and I don't mean to harp on the same point. I think Gage can be a better basketball player. I think they can be better as a team with that balance, and they just don't get it consistently. They get it for 5-minute stretches, and then they go away from it. Like right there, JT, you got to fake a pass, make a pass. You're trying to dribble through traps, do things that really aren't to your strengths. Move the ball, put the ball in Baldwin and Carson Smith's hands. They're your 2 best shooters, and they're going to have to foul at this point.
JT will go to the line. It's a double bonus situation. He has 2 shots from here on out for the Chargers. First shot is up, and that's good. 65-56. Substitution. David Joplin comes back in for Brookfield Central.
You know, I think Brookfield Central also, they miss Malik a little bit. They miss Malik athleticism, being able to rebound, being able to run that floor and do some slashing as well. So I think not having Malik tonight hurt a little bit as well with their versatility
tough
defensively, primarily.
56 45 seconds left here at Brookfield Central, down 9 points. And they're probably going to go for the steal if they don't get the steal.
Pass it. Get the ball up. Swing it. I mean, that's an unselfish play. You know, everybody wants to run to the free throw line. And there's a couple things in Sussex Hamilton that I think could keep them from a state title. A couple things that I think go on game in and game out. I do think that I'd like to see JT share the basketball more, not only in the direction of Carson, also in the direction of Patrick. I think that's an important thing. 2, I think he holds the ball a little bit too long. I think you've got to keep it fluid. You keep it fluid, and I'd like to see Lucas Finney become more of a weapon scoring the basketball. I think he can finish. Just go to work on it. These are little cracks, but things that I think you get the right team, you get down, somehow shots aren't falling, and all of a sudden the team gets on a little bit of a run, you can start to feel that pressure. So I think that's, you know, I do think that they have a couple weaknesses that can prevent them from getting where they want to go. But right now, they're as good as there is in Division I.
For Brookfield Central, you can see a couple of things with these guys where having a tough past 7 days, 2 losses in the last 7 days. One was to the crosstown rival Brookfield East tonight against a good Sussex Hamilton team, but they can turn the ship. A lot more basketball left. End of January, you had the whole month of February for the playoff start. So this team can't make it, as Brookfield Central will go down at home. Sussex Hamilton gets the win 67 to 56.
Championships are won in March. Happy anniversary to the Kuros.
Yes.
You should be very lucky, Tony. You should feel very lucky, I should say.
There's so much shade from Coach Winston in my direction. I'm just trying to find a little daylight here every once in a while. It was a great game. Carson Smith set the tone in the first half. I thought Patrick Baldwin played a consistent game. Lucas made a couple shots. You know, they weren't firing on all cylinders. They weren't clicking, but they did enough to win. And they won by 11 on the road against Brook Central, who, by some accounts, may be their toughest challenge to winning a Division I state title. So, I mean, that speaks to how talented Sussex Hamilton really is.
And our MVP of the game was going to be Patrick Baldwin Jr. We don't have his numbers of what he actually ended up with, but I'm pretty sure he had an awesome game. Like you said, Jose, you look at the stats and see what was his numbers this game. But again, a great victory for Sussex Hamilton coming here. Now that kind of goes that first game when they played at Brookfield, at Sussex Hamilton, proved that they can go on the road and win when they're here on the road at Brookfield Central. So our own Gia is going to sit with Patrick and see.
Sorry about that, Yanni. Looks like Patrick Baldwin had 23 on the night. I mean, again, we talked about it. I think Patrick Baldwin finished with 23 points. And it wasn't a hard 23. It was a very simplistic 23.
I'm going to ask you how you know him if that's okay.
I'm not.
And I don't think we ever interviewed Patrick, and our own Gia has Patrick.
All right, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and then I'll probably touch on that question as well.
All right, Gia, what do you got for us?
All right, guys, I'm here with Patrick Baldwin Jr. Great game tonight. You guys had a victory. It's a 9-point victory, so congratulations on that. You finished with 23 points. You played well on both sides of the court, steals as well as that three. That three looks pretty nice. How does it feel?
It felt pretty good, going into my game. Going into this game, earlier in the week, I kind of came down with the flu, so I was kind of unsure of my shot, but just came out tonight, just the energy in the gym, and got back out there with the team. And shots were falling early for everybody, so just a good rhythm, and I'm just lucky to be playing tonight.
Now, there was a point in the game where Brookfield kind of got desperate, and they were looking at calling the hack-a-shack, if you will, and you had the ball in your hand, and Coach scratched the play. He said, I'm not going to foul an NBA player. How does that make you feel so young, and people are already telling you you're going to be in the NBA?
I'm not really sure if I'm going to be in the NBA. I just got to trust the process. I'm still again, only a sophomore in high school, and I still have a long way to go and much to improve on. But that's really something that I think is a testament to my work ethic, and I think it's really a blessing that I can even be considered as a future NBA player. And I think that's really cool. But I'm not really too focused on that right now.
Now, what can the team take away from this victory tonight?
I think that if we just compete and we just play hard down the stretch of any game, we can compete with anybody. And that's kind of what I've been saying all season. If we play hard every possession, every night, there's no team in the state that can beat us.
Now, stepping away from basketball really quickly, now, I did see Craig Counsell in the stands, and I got a chance to talk to him. He said he was here for you. Can you tell me what that relationship is and how that came about?
It's just kind of my mom and my dad through sports, and obviously their son, Jack. Just kind of a friendship between families that's really built over the last couple of years, and it's really cool to have somebody like that come to my games and support me and support our team. But for the most part, it's just I'm truly blessed, and family's truly blessed to have those type of people in my life.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you at a lot of Brewers games this upcoming season, right?
Hopefully, yes. I'm a converted Brewers fan.
All right, well, congratulations again, Patrick. Great win tonight. There you guys have it. Patrick Baldwin Jr. here with me live. Until next time, signing out, I'm Giovanna Heath.
All right, Gia, thank you so much. We're going to bring in head coach for Sussex Hamilton in a second and get his remarks on this game and kind of what he thought. But right now, 67-56 win moves them up in the stands, 2 games up on their rivals, which would be Brookfield East, and also they have a date with Brookfield East, which would make it probably that's going to be the conference. Winner of that game, they're going to split conference or they're going to win conference.
Well, I think the way Sussex Hamilton is undefeated in conference, Brookfield East has lost twice. Brookfield Central has now lost 3 times. So really it's Sussex Hamilton's conference to win. Win or lose against Brookfield East in their next matchup, they can lose 1 game and they still will capture the conference. So they're in the front seat. They're the team to beat in the conference, and they're the team to beat in the Division I in the state. So.
Yeah, I think right now for them, they're just trying to clean up everything. They're trying to clean up everything heading into the playoffs. And again, like in the playoffs, it's 1 game. All the team has to do is be better than them 1 game. So right now, they're playing at a very, very high level, and I think Coach wants to keep them at that level.
All right, now we're going to bring in Sussex Hamilton head coach Andy Cerrone. Coach, talk about that win. You guys get the 67-56 win. What was the game plan coming in for this team?
Well, coming in was just trying to keep Gage, control him and making sure that he does, he's so good at getting to the lane and getting to the rim and setting other guys up. And I thought we did a pretty good job of containing him in the first half. I don't think he had but maybe 1 bucket. And then I thought Joplin did a heck of a job, and he hurt us a little bit. But you got to pick your poison. They got 4 kids that can really play, and you got to just, you got to tip your hat to Joplin, because he made some plays and kept them, kept them in it and gave them some fire and gave them some life. So, but I thought we wanted to get up and down, because they don't sub those kids. Those kids don't sit, and thought we had them dragging a little bit in the first half, and second half they came out and had a little extra bounce in their step, and they cut it to, they cut it. And I think they took the lead, but they took the lead by 1. And I think we went on a 15-3 run after that, and I thought defensively after that. I think we held them to the last 8 minutes of the game. I think we only held them to 8 points, I believe it was. So I thought defensively we did what we had to do. Kids followed the scouting report to a T, and our coaches did a heck of a job, on the scout with this. And, we were pretty prepared, and we just had to make some plays. And, thought Carson Smith really played well and hit some big shots for us early. And then he hit that big 3, that deep 3 for us late. And then, and Patrick's just, he gathers so much attention. He had some great plays where he shared the ball and hit some threes early, and just tough. And I thought JT did a nice job. Tanner came in late, hit those free throws for us. That was big, and the last 3 weeks, and that's been huge for us. Early on, just he didn't shoot it as well as he has been now, and he's just a worker, coach. He's so diligent in getting his shots up and working hard, and he didn't, he just battled through it, and not, the thing that you guys, how many times was he on the floor tonight? That was a big steal down there. He's flying around, and that was huge. So he's not worried about his, and I think when he when he does all those little things that, his shot, he doesn't even think about it. He's just a machine. he really is. And but it's not something that he works at it and he's diligent with it. And like you said, now what are you going to do? I mean, you got, are you going to take, put 2 on Patrick? Are you going to, and you found out tonight that Patrick will share the ball, and he finds them. And, so now we got Carson, and, I thought JT did a great job of controlling it, but Carson has really played well as of late, and, he's played like like he finished last year playing for us, and so hopefully he'll continue, and he'll just, keep helping us find ways to win.
Coach, we'll get you out of here, but Coach Winston got one question for
Sure.
you also.
One final question for you, Coach, and congratulations again on a big victory. Obviously, this is a big-time rivalry game, and you came into their home and beat them. But I have a question. How do you keep the outside noise out as you continue to move forward the playoffs? Obviously, everyone's telling you guys probably that you're the favorite to go state, maybe get a gold ball. And as a coach, how do you just keep that outside noise away and keep your guys focused on the everyday grind?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I just like our kids' demeanor. I mean, on the court, if you look today when we were up 10 or we were down 1, there was no sense of panic. These kids have played a lot of basketball outside of their high school career. The AAU scene, they've been in these big situations, so they know, they know how to handle it. How do we do it? Honestly, we just take, the old cliche, take it one at a time. But hey, we're going to talk about Germantown right when we get in the locker room tonight and say, hey, that's what our focus is. And these guys have been really dialed in. Our game plan execution was outstanding tonight, defensively and offensively. And they really are diligent in doing their work, and they come to work every day and to practice and put their time in. And we really don't. I'll be honest with you, it was a lot more before the season started. I was more concerned about it then because it was kind of everybody's telling you how great you are and, hey, we'll see you in Madison. And it's just like, you know how hard it is to get there? I don't care how good you are. You know how hard it is there, Coach? You know how hard it is to get there. And, it's, and so we don't really talk. We're not looking too far ahead, and we just say, hey, we just got to take care of our business. And, where the chips fall, where they may come tournament time or whatever, as far as, seedings and that kind of thing, we just got to take care of business right now and not stub our toe along the way. So,
all right, Coach. Well, go ahead. Congratulations on the win.
Well, thank you very much.
Go ahead and talk to your team. I know,
and I apologize to you guys, man.
No, that's
I ain't getting yelled at all the time.
That was Coach from Section 7, Andy Ciroli. We want to say, for everyone here at the Athlete, we want to say thank you for tuning in. And next week, for my partners, Jose Winston, anniversary.
Whoa, slow down. We're moving way too quick. Partners? I'm your partner. He can fill in from time to time. He's doing okay, though.
For the whole crew here, we want to thank everyone for watching, and everyone at home was watching this live from the stream. Make sure you join us next week. We'll be at the City Review. Milwaukee, Washington takes on Milwaukee Riverside. Tip-off is 6:30 here at the Athlete. For everybody, until next week.
Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. I'm super magnetic, bring the championship to me. Super with exclusives, hit the link and you can see what it takes to be a top athlete. Coast to coast we going, so to come up you can see. From the court to the field to the track we can meet. Everything exclusive, straight behind the scenes. This the Athlete. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Athletic, I'm jumping for my dreams. Now let's talk about the athlete. The path is like a track meet. Distractions in the crowd, you gotta master that within thee. Passion in the how, you put it down, then we'll see the difference between the others and the athlete. You must subscribe to Focus, click the link and notice. All the Flyers culture, all in sports you know it. We always thinking forward to the biggest moment. Welcome to the show is the athlete. Athletic, I'm jumping.